Hello, students, and welcome to the audio recording podcasting lesson. As promised, we are creating a video lesson so that our Muslim students who are celebrating Eid can also get access to the information covered in class. But this will also serve as a tool that those of you who did attend class can also use as a revision tool. Okay, so let's get into it. So, logically, the first question is what is a podcast? And if we Google it, we get the following definition. A podcast is a digital audio file made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or mobile device. Typically available as a series, new installments of which can be received by subscribers automatically. It also says make a digital audio file available as a podcast. So basically, it's about making audio information, digital audio files available to others using the internet as a platform to distribute the audio files from. Now, if we look back at our evolution as human beings, you'll see that the first era is that of the oral tradition. This is when human beings communicated orally. That was the only form of communication. Telling someone something and them repeating that to someone else. And for thousands of years, this was the only way that communication was done, the way that information was relayed from one to another. But interestingly, what I think they've missed out is what we covered in class last week when we looked at the cave drawings and hieroglyphics, which also form part of how human beings left messages for one another. And I think that should be included in that first era. Then the second era is the age of literacy, and this is when the written word was invented. And again, this went unrivaled for many centuries. And the printing press was very successful until we get to the next stage, which is the age of information and communication. And this age was really brought about by the invention of electricity. That then led to the invention of the radio and television and basically all the electronic uh, communication devices that we make use of today. And I think for many years, radio and television was the most popular formats, and then the internet came along and it just created a whole new platform and a whole new way for us to communicate. So podcasting technology has been around since the year 2004, and initially the popular Apple device, the iPod, was the primary device onto which these podcasts would be downloaded to. And so the first example of podcasting is really when a radio show host decided to make his radio show available after it had aired, and you could then download copies of it from the internet. So there are several steps involved in creating your podcast. Firstly, you would need to record your audio, and you will do this using either your computer or laptop. Alternatively, you can use a audio recorder or a mobile phone with a audio recording application on it. Once you have your audio recorded, you will then convert and enrich that content by taking it into an audio editing application such as Audacity that we'll be showcasing at the end of this lesson. And once you have that audio, you can now decide how to embed it. So you can either embed it into an RSS feed, which is traditionally how podcasts are done. Alternatively, you can upload it to a website such as Ikamva and make it available to the end user to download. From a consumer perspective, you would request the podcast and you could then synchronize your device so that it automatically downloads to your device. Or alternatively, you can visit the website where it's uploaded and download it onto your device. So, what are some of the benefits of podcasting? Well, for one, podcasts are an alternative to video. Video generally generates really large file sizes, and if your content doesn't require any visuals, just making the audio available is as effective. Podcasts can also increase traffic generation to your website. It also helps in building better relationships with your audience. Because they're hearing your voice, it adds that personal touch. Podcasts are also easy to create, and you'll see when we do the actual practical session of this lesson. Podcasts are also highly engaging. And lastly, it improves public speaking skills. So, because you're always recording podcasts, you'll become very confident in speaking. In order to get started on podcasting, you may follow the 3 P's: plan, produce, and publish. Plan. This involves planning what you intend to broadcast, chalking out an outline and deciding whether to break it into episodes. This process is called storyboarding. Once this has been decided, you have to decide on the presentation format. You need to decide whether it will be done by one person or more, whether it will be just a speech or you will speak off the cuff, how long the presentation will be, and so forth. Considerable thought should be given to choosing the recording location, as the room should be quiet and free from distractions for the recording to be clear. Secondly, produce. Get your podcasting gear in place and record. Remember to talk clearly, slowly, and audibly so that each word can be heard by the listener. Lastly, publish. Once your work is recorded, you need to post it online. Converting it into the MP3 format will let everyone get access to it. Name your file, upload it, and you have created your podcast. For the practical session, we will use a free open source application called Audacity. This application allows for you to import audio from different devices such as MP3 players, iPods, and your mobile device. However, you can also record audio directly in Audacity. Audacity allows only for audio recordings. You can also add music and effects to the audio that you've brought into Audacity. You will be able to create MP3 files and upload it to an online platform, making it available as a podcast. This concludes this section of the lesson. The following video will contain the steps for editing your audio.